Sagmotag again. We're about ready to enter the world. You can see the background suggests the night elves. We will first go through a cutscene that describes the lore, what the night elves are, where they are, but it'll zoom around the starting area and it'll end up behind your new character, the camera.
After years of imprisonment within the Emerald Nightmare, Archdruid Malfurion Stormrage has finally returned to the mortal world. Reunited with his love, Tyrande Whisperwind, Malfurion endeavors now to heal the corrupted world tree Teldrassil and rejuvenate the spirit of the Night Elf people. Yet as the great cataclysm shakes the boughs of their colossal tree, the Night Elves brace themselves against the coming storm. As war and destruction close in from all sides, it falls to Night Elves like you to stand strong and protect the enduring legacy of your people.
Well, the first thing we want to do is learn how to move. S, our pet just follows. A, D, W. What they call the WASD. Q is strafe left, what the E is strafe right. You can hold down multiple keys. W and D allow me to go sideways. The right mouse button, if I hold it down, you see the cursor, it'll disappear when I press the button. And then the character turns whenever I move the mouse sideways with the right button pressed down. The left button pressed down is the same thing for just the camera. The scroll wheel on my mouse zooms out and zooms in. If I hold down the right key and the W and the D and turn to the left with the right mouse key, I can look left while I run straight ahead. Same thing with the A. The W and the A together make me run left, so I can use the mouse key to straighten myself up to the right. So in this way I can look to the left and to the right. So it increases my field of vision. I can also use Q and E to look even more extremely. This way I can get 180 degrees around me as I charge through the world. This thing is the mini-map. It shows a detail of the overall map of the world. This is a quest giver because he has a yellow exclamation point. Before we get any further, we need to make sure our configurations are optimal. Press the escape. You might have to press it more than one time to get up the game menu. This is how you will leave. Log out lets you go back and you could start another character, or you could move between characters. Exit game just does that. It just takes you right out back to the desktop. You can press escape again. You don't have to return to game. This is a toggle, so when everything else is closed, which is why you have to press escape multiple times sometimes, the game menu comes up. So you can't get out of the game by continuing to press the escape. You have to exit game. We want interface, controls, we want to auto loot. When we right click on a mob that we've killed, a loot window will come up, and it might have several items. We would have to right click each item to get them all into our bags. So we want to turn on auto loot. Now this bags business, if I press B, this is because I'm special, you will get 16, and this will take you back to basically here, but probably over there in that inn. It's called a Hearthstone. These are bag slots, and various things will end up in them, especially after you've been looting mobs. Mobs are monsters. It's sort of an abbreviation. After they're killed, they respawn from particular places, and so do other resources. You'll see that there are ores, and that there are herbs, for instance, and there are various kinds of quest items, chests and that sort of thing. These respawns move around, so they're mobiles, and that got sharded to mobs. Has nothing to do with gangsters. Anyway, so if you're whacking a mob and you want to loot, now you can do it. So escape again, interface again. We want action bars. We want to turn on all of these. This is an action bar. This actually is the game's utility bar. This is the bag bar. We want to see all the action bars available to us. And we're good. What happens is that if a thing is here, it's really an abstraction of what's in the bag. For instance, the Hearthstone, if I right click it, start to cast that bar that appeared, that would take me back to, well, let's find out where it takes me back. Maybe this very spot, but I expect to be in that building over there. Nope, this very spot. Okay, well, that's convenient. But I can move it over here, and it doesn't move. What I've done is made a reference over here to the actual Hearthstone over here. So if I were to click it, I
cannot use that item yet.
It'll try to use it, but it isn't the object. It's just a pointer to the object. As we get other abilities like Cobra Shot and Shadow Melt, it will be useful to put them on this bar. To get rid of this, I'm going to do a shift, click it, drag it out, and then drop it. This was set up, I think my defaults are different. Yours might not be like this. So, lock action bars is on. Make sure that you go to action bars and turn on lock. I might have done that by habit when I went through the first time. So what is this Cobra Shot and what is this Shadow Melt? If I press the letter P, I get the spellbook. This is the same as coming down here, spellbook and abilities P. If I hover, Cobra Shot, 50 focus, 40-yard range, requires ranged weapon, a quick shot causing 36 physical damage. I have a few other things here. If I click on General, let's see various interesting things about my character. And I see Shadow Meld, which is marked racial. It's something that all the Night Elves get. Instant, 2-minute cooldown. Activate to slip into the shadows, reducing the chance, etc. If you move, it disappears. The 2-minute cooldown means you can't reuse it for 2 minutes, but you can stay in it as long as you wish. Character info C shows a paper doll showing the current equipment of the character, which is hardly anything. There are only 3 pieces, and they give her a total of 18 armor, which is protection against damage. She has 3 main abilities: agility and stamina and armor. Critical strike is important for her, and haste is important for her. Well, let's pick up a quest.
I am honored.
Which is going to give us some gloves.
Good luck, friend.
The balance of nature. If I press B, B I get the bags. M, I get the map. This shows the general area. It has an ability to zoom to some extent. It can also be made full screen. And it shows the area in which I can look for these 6 young night sabers. Press M again, so M is a toggle. And what it wants me to do is shoot night sabers. Now, you want to use your abilities in combat as much as possible. When I shoot, there'll be a little cooldown. It's easier to show with this. The Shadow Meld has a 2-minute cooldown. So if I melt into the shadows, you can see like the hand of a clock moving in a circle around the button. That's showing the amount of cooldown that's occurred and giving you in the dark area an idea of how much remains. And again, I could stay here for 20 minutes if I wanted to, but it'll take 2 minutes before I can reapply the Shadow Meld. This Cobra Shot has a faster cooldown. Let's see what it is. It has the standard cooldown, which is when you use an ability. It takes about a second to use it. And this is the focus. The ability takes 50, and the bar has 100, so I can get 2 shots to empty it. But as soon as I empty it, it begins to refill, so it doesn't really use it all. But we'll see how effectively it does use it. The Tab key will select an enemy or a selectable object in front of you. So what I'm going to do, the number 1 is in white, which means that I can use the ability of pressing the 1 key on top of my keypad. If I get further away, eventually that 1 turns red, which means that I cannot shoot if were to try, it would tell me that I can't. So I'm using both buttons, the left and right mouse button together, and I have my finger on the one. Shoot. Shoot. And now it's waiting for the bar to replenish itself. Tab. Shh. See the bar up here. Shoot. Well, 2 shots is enough to get our lightsabers. Have 87. But the cat adds damage too. Oh, that was a critical hit. Gave a lot more damage. Tab 1. Tab 1. I said tab, I didn't press it. Tab does the selection, and then 1, 1, 1 shoots. 1, 1. So I'll have this done in a jiffy. Tab 1. And the balance of nature is ready to turn in.
I am listening.
A lot of experience. The experience you saw went over the end of the bar and then around. If I get fell mosses from the Grelkin to the west, I will get that. And just by hovering, I can see that it will add 1 armor to what I have already by replacing what I have already. So definitely want to accept that. And there's another quest here.
Greetings.
Get bags near the Grelkin. It's usually a good idea to accept as many quests as you can in a quest hub, because many of them are located in overlapping areas. Many of the goals. M shows us the 2 overlapping goals. Oh yes, and using the map, press M, right click, zoom out, right click, zoom out. You can see up here how far we're zooming out. Right click. You can see where I am. Right click. You can no longer see where I am. We're somewhere in Azeroth. Azeroth is the original planet, and players still use Azeroth to refer to being in the game as a whole, but you can be more specific and be in Outlander Draenor. We're in Kalimdor. We're in Teldrassil. And we're here in the starting zone. Okay. Put it away for a while. Actually, there's an inn over here. I'm going to park. See a level 2 on my portrait. Well, I thought that this was an inn, but I'm quite mistaken. So I might as well be over here. And I'll leave it at this point.